Fight fans, fight fans, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And as you heard, Mr. Lights Out James Toney claims that Oleksandr Usyk is boring. And the only reason he beat Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury wasn't interested in the fight. It didn't prepare himself like he should have. And let me counterpunch. That could be so far from the truth. Okay.
Are you close to being back to base?
For one reason, I think, and I don't know where he gets that from. I think Tyson trained like the Dickens. He didn't say anything otherwise. He didn't make up an excuse about how his condition was or how his training camp went or any of that stuff. He had no complaints whatsoever about that. You know what I mean? So if he's not complaining, why should anyone else try to make an excuse about his condition? That's one. Two, when in the hell have you seen a boring Oleksandr Usyk fight? Just because he doesn't knock people's spark out doesn't mean that it's exciting. Okay? I think he's getting them confused with the Klitschko's. I think he's in the wrong era. You know what I mean? Because the Klitschko's, I know Vitali, was the jab and grabber, and Vitali had his episodes of the same thing to get the reputation of Mr. Jab and the grab and all that stuff. But I just don't see how he comes up with that. Like Usyk's boring. I mean, you look at the face of this guy. You look at the faces that this guy comes out with fighting who he's fighting. They're punching him as well as him punching them. So why and how the hell is that a boring fight where he had Tyson Fury out on his feet, where he had Anthony Joshua against the ropes trying to be a Neo in the Matrix? You know what I mean? This guy throws punches. He doesn't have to be a hard-hitting heavyweight puncher because he punches hard enough to get these guys' attention and to gain their respect. So I don't know how in Hades James Toney is coming up with this. I think what people do, this is the only thing that I can muster up. I think people that were fierce competitors, champions, etc., especially when they're in the same weight class, especially when they did the same things, I think they live and they always compare themselves to the current fighter or the current most hottest fighter of the time. And James Toney is no exception. I think James Toney, he went from middleweight to super middle to light heavy when he beat up Vasily Jurov, then went up there and then stopped Evander Holyfield, things like that. And then, he had some issues or whatever. But nonetheless, though, I think the competitive spirit would always have him thinking he would do better in this era of fighters. You know what I mean? And how, for one, we'll never be able to prove it. For just in shits and giggles, though, I think that James Toney probably would have got stopped in this era. Probably by Wilder or Joshua, even though he would have been able to hit Joshua because of his defensive prowess. But nonetheless, guys like that, Usyk, for example, Usyk will be able to figure him out. He might not have hit him with every shot, but he would have eventually figured him out because Usyk's been in there with guys just as slick or parallel to guys like James Toney. And I know that's a bold statement, but you got guys like Tony Bellew, for example. He was able to give Usyk fits for a little bit until he adjusted. Okay, but yeah, that's the only thing besides just pure haterade that I can come up with, because him comparing himself, because that's all really he's doing, is I would have done it this way and I would have done it that way. But understand this, as defensive as James Toney was, he still is suffering from getting hit too much or too many times with punches. You know what I mean? So, again, if you think Usyk's boring, I don't know who the hell is exciting. You know what I mean? I just think that's crazy and off the chain. And I don't know where the hell James Toney gets that from. Maybe it's no, it can't be an American thing, because Tyson Fury's not American either. So I don't even, there's no window to really escape from for giving James Toney a pass for the shit that he just said. I just don't understand it. But it is hilarious, and I am counterpunching it. He is not boring. James Toney, I wish you were still fighting, or I wish you were in this era so you can show us all how exciting boxing's supposed to be. Tell me what you think about James Toney. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!